Hey guys, welcome to Center Bounce. It's your boy Joe here, and I'll be walking you through how my team did for round 9, how I scored, what sort of changes I'm going to be making to my team, and gee, the carnage that has befallen all of us. This is an updated video. I had recorded one initially, but subsequently things have changed, so I have to scrap the previous video, give you guys my updated thoughts on what my team is currently going to look like moving into the round to come. But first, this is how I scored this week. I scored a 2185. It's not too bad. Top 14% score. So, look, it's obviously didn't set the world on fire, but it's certainly very respectable. Ended up climbing just a little bit more of 673. So, I'm just outside the top 10K. Obviously not the best ideal, the most ideal place to be given this point of view. But gee, we're coming back from 86,000. So we're slowly making our way back up the rankings. And I think a score of 2195 is super respectable when you take into account that I have 321,900 in the bank. You know what I mean? So for us to score what we scored whilst holding this much money in the bank is really promising. I'm super happy about this, and I could have scored even better if I had Wilmot instead of Chincotta. Never would have thought that was going to happen. And if there was concerns about Rowan Marshall, and I had to, I would have loved to have Phil Sampson Ryan, but I just kept him there in case of the late Marshall out. So I lost out on some points there. Ended up taking Simpson, who was the worst of the three of these guys. So look, it is what it is. You can't. I'm not complaining. Such is life. And so this is the sort of team that I'm left with, I suppose. Dawson with an 89, very disappointing, very unlike him. Doesn't normally just wasn't very clean with the ball. Stewart left people. He left. My God, non-owners, take this as a warning. He was on 80 points at halftime, and he completely let all of you off the hook. This is the week to get him in. He's given you the warning. Heed the warning or suffer the consequences. That's all I have to say. It was a very fine VC selection. I back my decision. Zeba 114. Gee, the guys just lock him in top 6. Nicky Dacos back to 125. That's what happens when he doesn't get tagged. He's capable of this. Will Day 88. He has been very underwhelming ever since I traded him in. I wasn't super sold on him at the start. And this is why. I hate being right, and I should have listened to myself. Hopefully he can bounce back. I really do. That defensive mid status is also very handy, and I hope, you never know, he might end up being a swingman. Hopefully I'm able to get an extra premium, and he can be a cover between. But yeah, I really need more out of him. He's not top 6 at this rate. Chincotta with a 33. It was a rough day for him. Look, I can't believe he's got a 33, man. That is so bad. But look, it is what it is. Wilmot with a 75, cashed in on a weaker Essendon side, playing at home. Congratulations to him. He's done a great job for himself and for us, because he's given us, not only has he given us a decent score, he's also got his break even back down to 35. So well done, Darcy Wilmot. Make us a bit more cash, son. But and Charlie Constable, the dude is forever stuck off the bench, off the field, not even in the extended. I'm resorted to the fact that he's not going to play for us again this year. But yeah, Chincotta, this is rough, and the news, obviously the team sheets have come out, and with the news, it looks like Chincotta's not going to play. It looks like he's not going to play, so that really sucks. His cash gen is going to be a little bit stalled. I really hope he can play and make us some more money. But at this point, he's not going to play this week, and so I wouldn't have him on field. Yeah, guys, I recommend that you have him off the field unless you can use him as a loop, and you're lucky to have a guy like Charlie Constable dudding it up. Bontempelli with a 112. I know a lot of people captained him, and I'm actually really happy that he went less than Oliver, who was my eventual captain. I need a 120. I personally need a 120 in order to take a captain score, and Tom Stewart's 115 just wasn't there. So I was banking on Oliver to score roughly 120 plus, and he only scored a 119, which is pretty down on his standards, I think, especially given the matchup. But I'm certainly happy that he beat Bontempelli. Got extra points on there, and managed to sneak in a 2-point victory over Big J. So that's very nice. Clary with a 119, as I've just said. Tom Green 97, Cornelia 93. Well, they had a tough day against a much better Collingwood side, obviously playing here in the MCG. So, look, it was a tough day for the GWS boys, and I hope they can bounce back. Rosie with a 105. Congratulations. He just is, he's just scoring around this area. He's not setting the world alight, but he's just doing enough to show and to cement why we selected him at the start of the year. Hopper, injured, gone, soft tissue. He's got to go 100%. He's going to miss weeks. SETTERGOAT, we held him because of the Darcy Parish news, which meant that he was going to play a lot more midfield, and that's what he did. He had over 60% CBAs on the weekend, when the week before he had 0. He had a better role, scored 87. Our fixtures started to open up. We lose a bit of money on him because we decided that we're going to hold him for now because of the run, because of the role, and he gets his foot stomped on by a Brisbane Lions player, and now he's suffered a fractured foot. SETTERGOAT, he's going to be sent off to the pasture, unfortunately. So both of these guys, both of our mid-prices, have to go. He was not in my original trade plans. I was originally planning on trading out Chandler, whose break-even is 105, isn't it? Yeah, it's break-even 105. So I'm forced into holding Chandler. The problem with having no more boosts. Yeah, these two have to go. Ashcroft for the 97. We did tell people, hold on to Ashcroft because the stars are aligning for him. He loves to play at home. He's got a much easier matchup. We're without Darcy Parish. So things are going to be good because he's going to beat his break-even. And beat his break-even, he did. 97 points. Well done, Ashy. Baker with a 58. Just bang on. Typical Baker score. You know what I mean? Like, you tell me what is a classic Baker score, and I'll tell you it's 58. That is a classic Baker score. What's his break-even at now? 58. And what's his season average? 58.8. So, yeah, I'm telling you, this guy embodies the 58 so well. Doesn't seem to have a lot of money left in him. So, look, I'm hoping to maybe trade him out to possibly a Fahey in a couple of weeks, who is the GWS defensive mid rookie, he's a terrific player. You guys will see when he plays. He's a terrific player. He will be a great cash cow for us. Matty Johnson is extended bench, extended interchange, so he could be the sub. Look, I hope for our sakes, he's a break-even of 18. Please don't kill him. Just don't make him sub. Or if he is the sub, please sub him on early. Drury, I went early on Drury. I didn't want to do it. I was going to only do the one trade last week, but Humphrey was killing it. And I thought, oh, geez, maybe I might have to get Humphrey in. And then I knew that I had no more boosts. So, and I had a very strong feeling that Darcy Cameron was going to be in this week. And I knew I wanted to get Darcy Cameron in. So I went early on Drury against everything that I want, everything that I stand for, everything that I say. I went with Drury, and the universe punished me for it. That's why I have so much money in the bank, because I also did a downgrade of Hollins to Drury. And look at that, 17. So thank God. Look, you never ask for injury or wish for injury, but honestly, with all the outs at North Melbourne, that's literally the only reason why Drury is playing again this week. Like, oh my God. Marshall, from having doubts over him playing and then scoring a 131, bloody hell, that's ridiculous. Well done, son. Maxi Gorn with a 94. Look, I'm sort of surrendering myself to the idea that Gorn is not the same dude anymore now that he's playing with Grundy. He's just, he'll drop a 140 and a 130, but he's also going to be dropping us some 80s and 90s. It is what it is. And I'm going to ride it because he's also going to get forward status. And I still love to have as many ruckmen as possible in my team. And I'm looking forward to this sort of combination simply by having gone in now at that cheap price. It's going to open some shenanigans for me. Samson Ryan, well done. He's done a terrific job. But Nankervis is now back, so his ruck time is going to significantly reduce. He's going to be playing a lot more forward, which will naturally decrease his scoring output because he's not going to be getting all those hitouts to advantage anymore. And he's not going to be playing higher up the ground. He's going to be closer to home. So his scoring is well and truly going to drop now, but it's fine because we're not having him on the field and his break even is still 12. So thank you, Samson Ryan. You've been a terrific, terrific cash cow. And you were a very serviceable R2 for a couple of weeks there. Timmy T, 90 points. He's just a butcher, man. You got to ride the highs with the low with this guy. He'll have games where he's able to break through and is able to score some big ones. And then he'll have the occasional games where he scores in the 90s. And look, they've been few and far between. So I'm really happy with Timmy T. He's done terrific for us this year. Dunkley 103. Didn't cash in as much as we thought he was going to cash in against us with our weaker side, but that's just a testament to how much fight we had in that game. Really proud of our boys. The injuries have just really surmounted, and against really a premiership favourite. Errol Goulden, my word, another 156. How is this guy pumping out 150s without any centre bounces? It makes no sense to me. But it's almost, but he's surely going to get CBAs now with Mills out of the side. So, it's really crazy, actually. And he's got North Melbourne, who have had to do 6 forced changes. Heck, even their coach has been a forced change as well. No Clarko either. So, mate, boom, drop it, son. Sheasel with a 68. Look, you got to ride, again, similar to Toronto, you got to ride the highs and the lows. He's such a class act, this kid. He really is a premium. He's had 2 games where he's had poor scores, but every other game has been over 100. And Port Adelaide are historically really good at negating halfback, so I'm not holding it against him. Cade Chandler was a disappointment with a 42. That really sucked. His break-even now is skyrocketed up to 105. My initial trade plans involved getting rid of him instead of Setterfield, but unfortunately, because of this, he's now had 2 really subpar games, unfortunately. You wouldn't expect that against Hawthorn, but the MCG as well. Very disappointing, but I'm forced into holding him for another week. Hopefully he can bounce back for us against Port Adelaide. Away, don't have high hopes. And I was looking between Simpson and Mitchell. Simpson with a 65. Again, it's a very classic Simpson score, but I saw a 65. I thought, look, that's perfectly fine. I'll take that every day of the week. You can compare that to Seamus Mitchell. How many times has Seamus Mitchell beat 65? Lost. Same thing. Beat it once, basically. So, look, I saw that Seamus Mitchell was playing against Melbourne, so I thought, you know what, we'll just take Simpson's score, play it safe, ended up losing out on 9 points. It is what it is. Can't complain. So that was how my team performed last week. Not too bad at all. I'm very happy with how things stand. As I've said, these 2 guys simply have to go. Let me just sort of change this view so that I'm not covering my team. There we go. So, yeah, both of them have to go, and I don't have to downgrade because I went early on Drury last week. I have a lot of money in the bank. Now, something that I did say that I really wanted to do is I really want to get Darcy Cameron. He is named extended bench as of today, but he is playing on a Sunday game, which means that the full list won't be released until tomorrow, but I'm pretty confident that he's going to play. Craig McRae said so himself. So I'm going to need to open up a forward slot for him. So let's just get rid of him there. And then Darcy Cameron, I want him in the forward line. Come to forward. Darcy Cameron, here he is. Wonderful, wunderbar. And then for the midfield, look, it's 666k. It's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So I have to get not a forward. I'm going to go for Christian Petrarca. Why am I going Christian Petrarca? He's a player who's got the round 14 bye, which is beneficial. I don't want a player who's got the round 15 bye. That would absolutely suck. Because it's really really dangerous having someone with the round 15 bye. Just simply to for how the team is set up. Okay. I can live between Baker and Simpson. How do I do that? All right, I've sort of. All right, I haven't properly set this up. Actually, let me undo the changes. Let me just try to see. I want to do it in a way where. Okay, so Setterfield goes. So the reason why I want Petrarca is Petrarca and Oliver, they're a tag team duo. Okay, now Petrarca and Oliver, they are both capable of going really big, and Petrarca has been going really big. All right, when we look at Petrarca's scoring, Petrarca's biggest issue in the past has been historically that he is capable of having a really high ceiling, but at the same time, a really low floor. He's capable of dropping some really bad scores. But so far, his worst 2 games have been the starting 2 of the year, where he's gone 97, after which point he's gone over 100 in every other game since then. And he's getting better over time because Essendon, he lost to Essendon. Him and his team lost in that game. We beat them in the midfield, and he still scored 110. It's not very often that Melbourne are going to get beaten in the midfield. They're gonna win more games than they lose. And in games where they win, you can see what he's capable of. 167, 122, 148. So he's that player that can really get off the chain. And historically, he's up against Port. Port are ranked 11th against mids, which obviously fills you with a lot of confidence. Plus, you look at his last 3 games, he's got a 141, an 85, and a 173. You know what I mean? Like, that is insanely good. And when we pull up the calculator, 141 plus 85 plus 173 divided by 3, averaging 133 against these guys. So he's got a great historical matchup against them. And again, like I said, round 14 bye. Like, I really want someone who's got the round 14 bye. I'm not a fan. Like, the buys are such an important part of getting your season right, where you can climb up the rankings. And I don't want to be fully committed into one buy, because you need to field your best 18, and a lot of people are going to struggle in round 15. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many gun players in that round 15 buy, and if you're able to field the full team in that week of 18 players, maybe even 19, if you're capable of getting 19, that's ridiculous. You are well and truly on the path to greatness in terms of finishing high up the rankings. So this is sort of what the team looks like, and I want to captain Golden, and I'm gonna actually vice captain Petrarca. Now, I would love to go with Zach Merritt right now. Zach Merritt's break even is 120. He's got Richmond this week, and Richmond historically have given up a lot of points to midfielders, but this year Richmond aren't doing that. Now, they do have Hopper, which is excellent, which means that their midfield is a bit weaker, but we're without Parrish, we're without Setterfield. Zach Merritt is the clear target for any sort of attention that's going to come his way. He's going to be leading a midfield. Him and Shield are going to be leading a much younger midfield with Caldwell, with Hobbs, with Perkins. And these guys aren't going to be attracting attention at all. No one ever tags Shield. It's always Zach Merritt. Even with Parrish around, people still tag Merritt. But now he is by far and away the only clear target for people to tag. And that's probably the one thing that's really scaring me off right now. And his break even is 120. Now, you look at who he's got in the weeks to come. He's got West Coast next week. Now, before last week, I was looking at this fixture and licking my lips. But the problem is, West Coast are capable of tagging now. They're tagging. And you look at what happened to Noah Anderson last week. For all you guys who traded Noah Anderson in last week, expecting for him to go bananas against West Coast after his massive score the week before, you saw what happened. He got tagged out of existence. He still got 27 touches, but he scored under 100. And that is nerve-wracking. And this is going to be a demolition. With all of our injuries, Richmond getting Nankervis back, it's going to be a rough game. Now, Zach Merritt was very capable of going big, but he's reliant on disposal and disposal efficiency. Now, I looked at the weather, and it looks like it's going to be raining quite a bit on Saturday at Dreamtime at the G, which should also, I think, reduce maybe his disposal efficiency. So Merritt is one I'm really looking forward to bringing in. It just won't be this week. I do want Petrarca now, before he goes up more in price. I do want to have the top 4 midfield scorers. It's all about getting the big guns. I am backing my cash gen in Wilmot, Mitchell, Baker, Samson, Ryan, Chandler, Drury to continue to make me money. And I'm going to look to downgrade one of these guys into Fahey in a couple of weeks, who's a 123k rookie. There's also going to be the mid-season draft. So it's probably going to be Baker, maybe, who then becomes Fahey. He's close to maxed out in terms of price. But this is sort of the team that I'm going in with. I've got Darcy Cameron, Gawn, Marshall. So I've got 3 primary ruckmen. And the beauty of having Gawn get forward status also means that I'll be able to get an English as well at that in the ruck line, and English currently on the back of a couple of, his break even's 143. You know what I mean? He's dropped 32k this week. A break even of 143 will have him be at 597k. 597. You know what I mean? So if he scores a 122, he loses 9.3k. So that means he would have only have gone up roughly 32,000 from his starting point, which is incredible. Incredible. I'm so glad I didn't sell the farm in order to get him. He's going to drop in price. If he can drop even worse than that, if he can go sub 100, that would be amazing. If I can get him for around 600k, or maybe even under, I know it might be being very greedy, but if he can drop a bit more in price, that would be sensational. And then I can field him here, have both Gawn and Darcy Cameron in the forward line, which would be absolutely terrific. The more ruckman you can have in your team, the better. We've never been able to have 4 ruckmen, 4 primary ruckmen in the same team. So really looking forward to perhaps being able to pull off that play. And this is the team, guys, where it's at. Let me know how you guys did in the comment section below. It normally isn't this late in order to get the team out, but there has been quite a bit of change from when we recorded the video initially, some discussions with Big J, and this is sort of what we have sort of come to, and this is really exciting. I'm really happy. I think Mitchell will outscore Wilmot this week. I think just the role that Mitchell has is more conducive to scoring than Wilmot does. Wilmot simply cashed in on a weaker team, playing at home. He could do that again against Gold Coast, but I think I trust Mitchell a bit more at this point. He's playing really well. He's linking up Drury. Look, I don't trust him over Chandler. And then I can loop between Baker and Simpson. They are really close to each other. So I'm going to have to make sure I'm on my phone for all you guys who have Baker and Simpson. Make sure that you're quickly keeping track of the scores. It might be, so yeah, that's probably what's going to happen there. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all those good things. And remember, here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work so that you don't have to. Have a good week, guys. I really hope you all